Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for a dynamic effort lower day, but a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos. Please remember to click like down below, it would be greatly appreciated. But onto the training. The first set was terrible on both of these dynamic efforts. I went ahead and worked in bands. I've realized I'm just going to change the lifts themselves. I'm going to just stick to bands indefinitely for speed work. The first set, for those curious what went wrong there, number one, I really misguessed the band tension, the way I set these up. I thought because of the way I pulled them over, I didn't realize how much tension I had. And I thought I had 120, and technically the way this adds up is 150. I had a lot more band tension than I thought, and I was way too close to the uprights. Right? I was way too close. Created a bit of a problem there. Right? I hit the uprights on almost every rep on the first set, so I had to walk it a little further back. Right, had to walk it just a hair further back, because I only went back about 2-3 inches, and that didn't pull me all the way out of the J-hooks. That's basically what happened. The other sets, they went good, but notice how exhausted I am on each one, and that's because my band tensions were more than I was supposed to use. I'm not used to putting bands on this bar. It's completely different angles. I was trying to get it figured out, and yeah, anyone who's familiar with those bands, look at the way they're stretched. They're stretched all the way. They're tight at the bottom and then coming up, and I'm on the full edges. Anyone who set this up on a bench press already knows. Looks very similar to the bench range of motion. Hits 150 pounds. For the life of me, I'm not sure why I made that math fail. I just did, getting used to this bar. It'll be corrected next time. It's kind of funny, but hey, we got some quality speed work in. The next 4 sets were great. Like, I felt a great training response. I felt just crushed though. I did drag my sled first before doing these. Right, I did drag the sled first. So I already came in with a bit of a quad pump. You guys will notice when I'm moving through some of the stuff, quads are pretty pumped today. They're definitely getting leaner. But yeah, my lower body was just trashed. And you guys are going to notice that my lower body volume is going to come down just a little bit right now, so that I can do more upper back, more chest, shoulders, things I need to do to bench specialize and to deadlift specialize. I need that whole upper back coming up. So again, you'll see that I do some extra back work. And you're going to see, even though people are like, well, your box squats is really squat specialization, especially the wide stance. You're doing power good mornings, that's all squat. Yeah, but everything else is geared towards my deadlift. So for the speed pulls, we're now doing 5s. I did 4 sets of 5, so now we're up to 20 pulls. Now, another bright idea on my part with this bar today, I thought I would hang it up in front of me, up in the thing. But by seeing it there, I kept getting scared I was going to hit my head on it. Even though I'm way behind it, there's no way, because I could see it up out of the corner of my eyes. It really messed me up. So in the future, I will not be making that mistake. I'll just take it completely out of the rack, put it on the hook, and then bring it back over to do good mornings if I'm going to do them on the same days. So again, just a silliness on my part. I thought I would save myself a little effort in between so that I wouldn't have to get it up sideways and carry it back out of the rack and put it in the holder. And it ended up messing with my speed pulls a little bit. So you'll notice a lot of times the first rep looked a little rough. That first rep on the first set was definitely rough. But, so what are we running here? We're also running 150 pounds of band tension. Right? Because that's how this band is when we drape both sides over the top of the deadlift bar. But the grip training is phenomenal on this, and that's another reason I want to do bands on the deadlifts. I really need to make sure that grip is getting hammered. And I can tell you, heavy bands on deadlifts, even speed pulls, are phenomenal grip training. Normally I say mixed grip training doesn't help your grip, and it doesn't. It's the bands that do it. It's that overspeed eccentric at the top that jerks you back down. Just trying to hold on to the bar. Phenomenal grip training. I've heard Louis Simmons say that. I agree. Like he's on the money when he's made that statement. I've only heard him say it like once or twice, but he is right. And as someone who's messed with it, I know he's right on it. I've seen it firsthand. So again, I couldn't even do 5 sets. I'd consider trying to go to 5x5 on this, but I'm like, no guys, I'm done. But in the future, we won't hang a bar up in front, and we're going to see much cleaner speed pulls through the conventional here. But I really like the way the 5s felt. I really like the way that they felt. And again, by me doing 20 or 25 pulls, Every one of these speed days, it's again going to help my deadlift. But you'll notice on like that one there, even the last set, that first rep is rough. I'm having to get kind of in my groove here and really find my position, especially now that I'm wearing boots and everything, which again, so I'm going to need to wear boots and socks and comps. I'm going to do a lot of my pulling that way. So, because again, for me, I get more specificity on things like deadlift. Squatting things doesn't matter. I can just squat. All right, the power good mornings. I'm going to slowly work up by rotating these bars in waves. So I had someone comment yesterday, oh, you should be using a lot more weight on that. Well, you've seen me good morning more weight, guys. Come on. Not with this ultra wide stance. I'm pretty much doing a sumo stance. I don't know if you guys can tell at this angle, but my toes are pretty much touching the edge of the rack. I'm out in a real wide stance, and I'm trying to get my back almost parallel with the floor here. Pretty much as low as I can get it while pushing the hips back. So we're doing something a little different than my normal type that I do, that I've built the most strength on. I need to get strong at this position. Right? I need to get strong at this position. And I feel like that's going to, again, push my squat way back up. Right? Because for me, good morning sled drags, these just blow my squat up. But this style, because I'm squatting wider again, I really need to master these real wide stance good mornings. So I'm going to bring these up slowly. And although, because I'm changing waves, I'm going to go ahead and do the safety bar next wave for 3 weeks, and I'll come back to this for 3 weeks. And I want to try to slowly, linearly bring these up. I want to progress on each one. Change the bar every 3 weeks and try to progress with the new bar. And you know what? Realistically, maybe I'll get these up as strong as where I was with the other stance. But I don't know, because they were all front views. I didn't have everything set up and the ability to do it this easy with a good camera and everything. So I'm not sure that I was getting this sort of depth as far as the back angle. And in that context, this matters. But I can tell you the hip and adductors and everything are just getting crushed. Glutes, adductors, abductors, they're getting hammered with this wide stance. I mean, I still feel a lot of hamstring, but my hamstrings are so dominant anyways. Because of narrow stance good mornings, you guys have seen me do very, very heavy weights. A little more hamstring dominant. This is more hip, right? And this is going to carry over to squatting. But again, keep in mind, this is still working the hamstrings. You know, so people see this and they're like, well, but guys, my hamstrings are being trained. They're working very, very hard. In fact, hard enough from the speed pulls that I can only do 12s on these today. So then I did the glute ham raises with 3x12. And again, this pretty hard setting. And again, felt good on the hamstrings, but they were just getting fatigued. So we're getting a very, very balanced lower body workout at this point, right? And I would go so far as to say, for a lot of you out there, if you just did the speed squats and speed pulls with 5s, especially against bands or chains, and did power good mornings afterwards, for a lot of you less advanced guys, that would blow your lifts way up. That'll blow your lifts way up. For if you're not at my level, like you're a 400 squatter, 450 puller, that would be almost all you would need for your lower body. You could get away with that for a while and probably put 50, 60 pounds on both of those lifts from where you are. You probably could, if you were crunched for time and recovery, right? For your speed days. I'm doing other stuff because, again, I'm at a higher level. My deadlift's sitting at probably right about 600 as of right now. If I were to test it, I need to get back up past where it was, and I need it coming up. I need it coming up. And it will. But I'm going to have to keep building things like my hamstrings. Going to have to keep building my back. And I do the hamstrings at this point, guys. I don't even think I'm getting more performance by doing all this hamstring work. For me, it's just injury prevention, right? I am purely making sure that I don't tear a hamstring on deadlifts. Making sure that I've got the extra stability in my squats. Because again, for me, what's going to determine if I make or break a squat, if I can get myself into the correct position and stabilize on the eccentric on the way down with my hips far enough back, okay, without it turning into an Olympic squat. So I need the hamstrings for that, and I need them to not tear on a deadlift, because you guys have seen me pull hamstrings before. put up a picture of a really bruised one when I hadn't been doing any hamstring work for a while. Right? Whole back of my leg turned black from a hamstring pull. So what do I do in the middle? I need to split some of my rowing up a little bit in my grip work. I feel like, because again, I did this before, I used to do it on lower days for a while, and I feel like it carried over great to my deadlift, doing these axle bar rows. And we didn't go real heavy, 175 for 3x15. And then I'll do the major rowing on the upper body days. All right, I need the upper back and the extra grip training. Right, I'm doing dead hangs, and I could come in and do double overhand deadlifts, but this is going to give me another training response. It will help me. All right, I need that upper back to come up, and this will help with it. But it's not that taxing on it, because the grip almost is the limiting factor here with this axle bar. Right, grip is really a big deal here. But I'm going to build these back up. These sets were not that tiring, to be honest. You guys have seen me do well over 200 for 10s. Like 230 for 10s on this. So again, it was just 15s, get back in the groove of the lift, and I'll start doing more of the axle bar rows on my lower days for both the grip carryover and then splitting up some of my upper back work a little bit, because my volumes get pretty high on upper body days, and this is the easiest one to recover from, so it shouldn't impact me as much going into the next day, because I'm not as reliant on my grip for upper body days. So again, if I do it this way, this is going to give me 3 different types of rows every week. Okay, that's a lot of rowing. It's a lot of rowing. But we need that upper back to really come up. I mean lats and stuff too. But my lats are going to grow from any type of rowing no matter what. But rowing, again, we need the traps, we need the rear delts, we need rhomboids. Those are going to help my bench. They're going to help my deadlift. All right. I think my hamstrings and everything are fine. I think my hamstrings are strong enough to pull, I bet you, close to 650 without a problem. It's all back from here. So the same thing, reverse hypers. Went up 5 pounds on these for the strict reverse hypers. Still managed to get extra reps on the last set, which means I might need to make another 5 pound jump. So a short-term goal, I need to get the strict reverse hypers up to 300 like this for sets of 10. It's a short-term goal, and I'm going to do it 5 pounds at a time. But I've got to get that lower back and glute stronger, and this will help. This is probably the best lower back exercise I have. The good mornings help, but this is king. This is number one. And I think the cheat rows will help me with this to some extent, although they're not true cheat rows the way I'm doing them. They're still fairly strict. If I keep adding weight, they'll turn into cheat rows. But other than the 2 snafus with the speed work today, I still got a great training effect from all of it. Really happy with all of it. So a good workout, a lot of quality stimulus done today, some progression here on a couple of supplemental lifts. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.